Hi guys, welcome back to Lou's Beauty Closet. If you're new, welcome. I'm Lou. I post weekly beauty, lifestyle and luxury videos. Be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and the bell next to it so you get notified every time I post. Without further ado, let's get into it. So today we're covering a foundation. That's a basic, your base is your start of your makeup, is your basics. It's another installment of the Makeup Basics series. So I know a lot of people have a hard time finding foundations and the right match, the right undertone, what is an undertone, the different coverage types, the different types of foundation. So I hope after today's video you are a bit more informed about the different types of foundation and a bit better equipped to shop for your own foundation. Like I'd say 4 major things or 4 things just to be aware of or when you're shopping for foundation. So 4 things. So the number 1 is undertone. So you might be thinking, Lou, what the heck is an undertone? What undertone am I? How do I find out my undertone? So basically undertone is like the color of your skin, sort of the hue of your skin underneath. So I am a warm undertone, which means that under my skin it emits sort of golden hues. So golden yellowy kind of hue. So usually people fall into one of the three categories. You're either warm, which is yellow, golden, olive kind of coloring. You're either neutral, which is in between, or you're cool undertone, which means you're pinky, red. So if you've got the 3 undertones, okay, cool, Lou. These are the 3. How do I know which one I am? So if you want to tell what undertone you are, you can sort of look at your skin in natural sunlight. Sometimes you can tell just by looking at yourself in the mirror in natural lighting what hue your skin is, whether you look golden, whether you look a bit red or pink. If you're fairer toned, if you look a bit pink, or if you're deeper toned, if you've got more reddy, earthy tones. If you're tan, whether you're olive on the olive side or the cooler side. Just looking at your skin in the mirror under natural lighting, looking at the veins in your arm. If your veins are pulling more green, if they look green, then you're generally speaking you're warm undertone, warm golden. If your veins are looking blue, you generally are cool. And if you cannot tell at all what color they are, other people can't really tell, you tend to be most likely neutral. My veins are green underneath and I'm pretty yellow, as you guys can see, but some people will be very obvious that they're warm or cool, and neutral, some people will be really difficult. Another way you can tell is by holding a white piece of paper under your to your face, again in natural sunlight. And if you look, when you're looking in the mirror, if you look quite golden and against that paper, your chances are you're warm. If you look quite cool, if you look pinkish, if you look on the pinkish reddish side of things, your chances are cool. And if you don't really look like either, you're probably neutral. So play around. You can also get people to look, but sometimes it's quite obvious. With deeper skin tones it is quite difficult because we tend to have a bit of a gradient on our faces. Like the center of my face is a bit lighter than the outer parts, and I'm a bit more tanned around the edges and a bit lighter in the center, but you even it out, you color correct and all that lovely stuff. But anyway, so number 1 with finding foundation, know your undertone. That would be one of the keys to success with foundation. So tip number 2, so know what skin type you are. Again, you're generally either 3 skin types. You're either dry, combination, or oily. Combo is your maybe oily in the T-zone, dry around the edges, vice versa. So I'm oily skin, you might be dry skin. Knowing what type of skin you are will come in handy when it comes to picking foundation, because when we get into it, there are foundations that suit different skin types. So for example, if you are oily like me, foundations that are very emollient, very creamy, very slippery probably won't suit you. Foundations that don't dry down because your oil is going to break through. Whereas on the other hand, if you are dry, matte foundations, really thick foundations won't suit you. They'll enhance your dry patches, they won't moisturize you, they won't give you hydration. If you're combo, you kind of have a bit of leeway, you can get away with some. You just have to maybe mattify your T-zones a bit more. You have a little bit more of a play, but it's really important to know your skin type, because then you can know what foundations to shop for. Obviously, you can be whatever skin type, wear whatever foundation you want, whatever floats your boat, but generally speaking, just as a guide, know your skin type, know your undertone. Tip number 3 is the coverage level you want. Some people don't wear makeup every day, some people do. Some wear it to work and some wear it off duty, whichever way you want. Know what type of coverage you're after and what suits your needs. Foundation comes in different variations. You can have sheer coverage, you can have light to medium, you can have medium, buildable and full coverage foundations. If you are a fan of more natural looking makeup, you probably want to go sheer light light foundations. If you just want a bit, if you want some coverage, some evenness, you don't want to look too glam, but you also don't want to look like you just got out of bed. Maybe you like to medium or medium coverages that are buildable. And if you are after glam or you just want complete coverage, you want your whole face to be, you know, glossed over, correction, everything, probably full coverage is better for you. So again, once you know the coverage level you want, you can shop for the foundation. You won't be disappointed if you're picking up a sheer foundation and it's not giving you coverage and you can still see your dark spots. So knowing what undertone you are, knowing your skin type and knowing the coverage level you're after will help. And lastly, the type of foundation you want. Now I say this because you know, there are different types of foundations. There's stick foundations, there are liquid foundations, which I generally have most of, and there are powders. There are cream to powder, apply as a cream, dry down as a powder. There are powder foundations and mineral foundations. There are quite a few types. There are liquid drops, like liquid pigment. So once you also know what type you like, that helps. Sometimes your skin tone, your undertone, your skin type, sometimes that actually comes into play as to what types of foundations you use. But generally there's a foundation in each type that's suitable for all skin types. So sometimes, you know, if you are dry, you can still, there are some stick foundations that you'll still be able to use, and if you are oily, there are some cream foundations you can still use sometimes. But anyway, so that's the main thing. So main thing, like I said, so knowing your undertone, whether you're cool, warm or neutral, knowing your skin type, whether you're dry, combo or oily, knowing your coverage level that you want, your skin concerns, what you want the foundation to do, whether you want it to be light sheer, medium, buildable or full coverage, and then knowing the preference of foundation that you have as well, whether you want a liquid, whether you want a cream, whether you want a stick, powder, and mineral. So that will help when you're shopping. Right, so those are the main things I recommend when you're choosing foundation. Now just some tips for you guys. When you're matching your foundation, try and match to like your chest area rather than your neck, because most of the time most people's necks are a bit darker than their face, and your chest tends to be a bit lighter or same tone as your face. If you're going to be wearing clothing that is going to be showing your majority of your chest and your neck's darker, you need to bear that in mind. So if you're going to be obviously exposing this area and matching to somewhere really dark, your face and here is dark, here is really light, it just looks weird. So try and have a bit of harmony. Always try and blend your foundation down to your neck. Okay, when you are shopping for foundations and you are out in the department store, Sephora, Mecca, wherever it is you're shopping, please take a sample. All beauty counters do samples now. MAC does it here in Australia, Mecca in Australia does it, Sephora does it. Bring your own pot if you have to. If you're going to the drugstore to pick up foundations, take your own little sample pots too, so that you can, you know, get the testers and actually test the foundation out yourself. Please always take a sample. I have done it plenty of times where I've bought foundations on a whim, on the match that they've done. You come home, you spend all this money on the foundation, you find that you look orange, you look yellow, you look red, it's too dark, it's too light, it's ashy. You get my point. Try and take a sample, not only for your color match, also to see how well it works with your skin. See if it's compatible with your primers. If you've got certain primers and powders that are part of your routine, and those are staples, you want to make sure the new foundation you're buying is compatible. You want to see whether you have any allergic reactions, because some people sometimes do to products. So you want to see whether the actual texture changes. You want to see how well it adjusts to your skin. And the lighting in department stores is different, and it's made to look different. There's a bit of an ambience there. You know, don't trust the lighting in the stores. So you want to see what it performs like in natural sunlight, because most of the time foundation will oxidize, so it will dry and the color will get a bit darker after it's set and it's become its true form. So you want to walk around, you want to see that process, then you can make an informed decision and buy that foundation. So get a sample, blend down your neck, match especially areas that are going to be exposed like your chest. Test your makeup out in natural sunlight always, because it oxidizes. Patch test your foundation so you do not, you know, have any allergic reactions. Those are my major tips. Now in terms of foundations that are good, these are some that I use. They are a bit on the pricier side. Here in Australia, the options for deeper skin tones you'd have to sort of buy at the department store, or you know, drugstore isn't really an option for us here. There are brands that do amazing, some brands that do amazing foundations, for example, are Maybelline, the Pro Longwear, the Maybelline Fit Me foundation is really good. They have got a huge range. Unfortunately, the whole range I don't think is available here in Australia, so I don't have that one, but I've heard it's amazing. And we're moving up the ladder into more department stores, beauty counters. That's sort of where I sit with foundations. I've got a few here that are amazing. These are pretty much medium full coverage. It's usually the type I go for. I don't do sheer. Like I said, I'm oily skin, so I've got this one here, the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I did a review on this one. I'll put that up there. I quite like this. It is quite expensive. It is 30 mils, a fluid ounce, which is pretty standard. I think it was like 70 something bucks, but it's really expensive. But it's full coverage, so if you are someone who does like medium buildable, you can, I guess, you know, be a bit light with your application and sheer it out. But I like this. Comes with a pump. I'm shade Macau. One thing that I do say is I do not mix my foundations. If I can't find my shade in a range, I will not buy. I can't be spending $50 upwards and be buying 2 bottles of foundations. Next is the Lancome 10 Idol. They also have 40, I think, 40 shade. This has been around actually before Fenty Beauty though, so they also did really well. It's also 30 mils. This one is quite pricey, but I don't think it's as pricey as the NARS. I think it was cheaper. I got this in the Sephora in France. 24-hour wear. It's also a nice foundation as well. Full coverage too. Comes with a pump. The cushion compact for this is lovely too. And then I have the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. So like I said, I'm oily, so these foundations cater to oily skin tones, people who are on the oilier side. I think Combo also can get away with these too, but they are going to set matte, they are going to be dry, so if you have dry skin, these probably aren't for you. I'm shade 420 in Fenty Beauty, and this one's 32 mils, so they were a tiny bit more generous than the rest. But yeah, and so you can see that I favour liquids, pumps, with a pump. I also love, one of my favourites is the MAC. It's like really long, it's got a stupidly long name. The Pro Longwear Nourishing Waterproof Foundation. It comes in like a squeezy black tube. That one's also brilliant. I absolutely love that one. Again, that one's like for oily skin. But just to round up, when you are picking your foundation, just consider your undertone, consider your skin type, consider the coverage level you want, and also the type of foundation you're after. So that concludes today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was really useful for you. Comment below, what foundation are you using at the moment that you quite like? I'd love to hear it. Consider subscribing and becoming part of the family and seeing more videos like this. To see you back here, all my social media is linked below. Everything that I showed here is going to be mentioned down below as well. Thank you so much, guys. Click here to subscribe, click here to catch my last video, and click here for more from Lou's Beauty Closet. Until next video, guys.